the quarterback that's this guy from Baylor, I think. I don't know nothing about him. I will see, I guess, but I was hoping that he would get somebody that had some kind of, that may transfer.
Mississippi State has to win the old-fashioned way. They have to go out there and get players who are invested. Yeah. They're not going to win the five-star battle. You understand that, even though they have the very likely MVP in the NFL on their roster a couple of years ago. Thanks for the call. We've had quite an afternoon here.
Attention. Did you or a loved one live at or near the Marine base Camp Lejeune in North Carolina before 1988? For decades, Marines at Camp Lejeune drank water that was contaminated with hazardous toxins. The toxins found in the water at Camp Lejeune may cause illnesses, especially later in life. A new law was recently signed by President Joe Biden that set aside billions of dollars for families of those who lived at or near Camp Lejeune. If you or a family member lived at Camp Lejeune before 1988, you may be entitled to financial compensation without going to court. Even if you were turned down in the past by the VA, a new law allows you to refile your claim today. If you, your husband, father, or grandfather spent time at Camp Lejeune while in the Marines, call Sutton Gates right now to find out if you're eligible for financial compensation. There's no fee unless we win your case.
Call 1-800-300-9383. That's 1-800-300-9383.
You see this Dom Perignon? I'm offering this to the next team that goes unbeaten.
But all over the land on this Sunday night, the champagne corks have been popping.
Isn't the champagne on ice somewhere?
So come get this champagne. All you got to do is beat everybody.
Ready to run it back? Women's Hoops, now playing on SEC Network.
SEC men's basketball all season long on SEC Network.
He walked into that huddle, Clark Kent, and he came out Superman. That was the beginning of Bart Starr.
Let me tell you a story about a superhero who couldn't have been more human. An SEC storied film, Bart Starr, America's Quarterback, Wednesday at 9 Eastern on SEC Network.
I can't believe I'm getting the opportunity to speak with you right now. You are a legend. And I just want to take a moment to tell you how amazing this show is, how amazing you are. And I've heard your show over the past few years. I've been listening since I was a kid. And the laughs, the entertainment, the information you provide us is invaluable. And I want to thank you for everything that you do.
Well, I've heard of listening to music while you're partaking, but I've never heard of doing illegal drugs while watching the Feinbaum show.
Todd from North Carolina, which was the worst call I've ever had to follow. It was even worse than Matt and San Antonio's catheter call last week, which, by the way, Matt, I hope you're feeling better. Thoughts and prayers, and lay off the sweet tea.
My grandmother ever make a pecan pie. I don't know what a pecan is. My grandmother made pecans. She made pecan pie. So I just want to get everybody straight on the correct pronunciation.
That is funny. You still there, Brad? We lost Brad. One thing that we are doing consistently here is losing callers. And by the way, I have no insiders at UM other than I do have a relationship with Harbaugh's dog.
And Desmond Howard, right?
My family is such big Alabama fans. Every Saturday we watch the Alabama game with my dad and Crazy Mike. And I have to say, it's all thanks to you that we made the playoffs.
Danny, I ask you this every week. Have we or have we not paid the phone bill?
You got a black hat on, Paul?
As a matter of fact, I have one right here by the desk.
I know you do. Put it on, Paul. Put it on. Be proud. Be proud. Remember, from the worm to the tongue, you got to remember that. Keep them out your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I think the choice between eggnog and Christmas fruitcake, I think I'll take the eggnog. Who was supposed to pay it? Oh, you were supposed to pay it. Hey, I will offer this about Billy Napier. Not a lot of logic coming out of there right now.
Doesn't seem like it to me, Paul. Doesn't seem like it.
We've had a great program starting with Jaden Daniel. We make room now for Tennessee basketball. Enjoy the game. We'll be right back here tomorrow afternoon.
Tonight from Knox Vegas, college basketball pitch, the Sun Belt versus the SEC, and the Tennessee Volunteers roll out the welcome mat for the 0-9 Eagles from Georgia Southern. Volunteers, 12th ranked team in the country, fresh off a top 25 win against Illinois. Welcome courtside, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Jimmy Dykes. Jimmy, I know you love this Tennessee team. You say don't be fooled by the record because they're on the verge of accomplishing great things.
Well, they are. They're one of the top teams in the country, Tom, on both ends of the floor. Really, they got offensive punch this year that they maybe have lacked the last few years. Still one of the top defensive teams in all of college basketball. They are built to make a deep, deep run in March. And you look at their record, but why are they 6-3? That strength of schedule, number 4 in the country. It's actually the toughest strength of schedule out of the Power 6, and their adjusted defensive numbers always under Rick Barnes. You're looking at one of the most difficult teams to score against. And Dalton Connect, man, one of the top transfers, not only in the SEC, but all of college basketball, gives them that offensive punch, I think makes Tennessee different this year.
Georgia Southern is playing its best basketball lately, a single-digit loss to North Florida last time out. But analytically, first-year head coach Charlie Henry, long under Nate Oates at Alabama, comes at you a lot differently than most. They have a higher three-point rate than most every other team in college basketball, 5th highest. This is the percentage of shots that these players take from behind the arc relative to their two-point field goal attempts.
Well, he took the blueprint that he learned under Nate Oates at Alabama and took it to Statesboro. And this is a Georgia Southern club that comes in. They will attempt 28, 29, 33-point shots per game. They're making 9. If you're Tennessee, man, you've got to know personnel in this ball game. You got to stay attached to shooters. And don't allow this team in blue who has not won a game to have confidence early.
Well, you did some extra research. Tennessee hasn't had much success against Georgia Southern.
They have not. Now, they've never played Georgia Southern, but they still have never beaten
Rick Barnes is 31-0 in his career against Sun Belt Conference teams. Here's Santiago Vescovi. And a touch inside for Jonas Adu. Tennessee will have a huge advantage in the interior tonight, and so they start off getting it to Adu, shooting 51% from the floor.
Well, the message from Rick Barnes and his team over the last couple of weeks has been, we're going to establish that painted position.
Oh, boy, Vescovi just went down on the screen up top, then a missed layup, and then Adu found him. And I think, hopefully, it was just banging knees that took Vescovi to the hardwood.
Like a knee to that lower thigh area. And that's Tennessee basketball now. They're going to try to blow up every screen. And right there, knee to the upper thigh.
What is the, outside of just that play where Vescovi got banged up, what is the value of being so physical against screen?
Well, teams don't like it. And Tennessee forces you to play a physical brand or you're going to get blown out and knocked out early. And what Tennessee does, they set the rules of the game every time they step on the floor the first couple of minutes, to your point about physicality.
That was Dalton Connect, who couldn't finish first time through for the transfer from Northern Colorado, one of the most impactful transfers in college basketball. Monte Parker, the freshman, loses it. This is a Georgia Southern team that averages only 68 points a game. They led at half against North Florida for the first time all season and had 4 in double figures. But Charlie Henry, previous head coaching experience was with the Windy City Bulls. He was a Chicago Bulls assistant and spent time in the NBA before rejoining forces with Nate Oates at Alabama. Adu inside, And he gets fouled and will go to the line. Georgia Southern will put you at the line. There's no doubt about that in the first on Tyron Moore.
Yeah, this is a lot of teaching going on right now early in the career for Charlie Henry. And most of the practice today on game day, he was teaching his guys still. Not a lot of time to focus on the opponent. It's a building process, but I think that's one of the main reasons that the athletic director, Jared Benko, was attracted to this guy, because that Alabama system last year, #1 seed overall, their rate of shooting threes and layups, it's a unique system that he's recruited to. And like you mentioned earlier, the 3 ball will fly at a frequent rate tonight.
Adu goes 1 of 2 from the line. That foul was on Avante Parker, the freshman center. A touch for Curry and another turnover. He started his career playing at Ole Miss, and he's seeing some more playing time lately. Here's Connect. Where's Tennessee at its best offensively?
Getting the ball side to side. They're one of the better off-ball screening teams that there is, and that's what happens, Tom. They get that ball at the second or third side, and all of a sudden, Santi Vescovi or Connect, they're playing off of a closeout. I think Tennessee's at their best when Vescovi's getting to the paint.
Deflection by Ziegler. Adu may be on his way to career high. His previous high was 17. He's already got 5 early on.
He was really good in the second half at North Carolina in that SEC-ACC challenge. I know that. One of the big reasons why he fought their way back in that game.
Here's Curry. And rebounded by Josiah Jordan-James. And now Ziegler with the drive and kick. All alone for 3. Got it! I said it might be a clear night. Why not? Only 2 threes all season, and he drills his first.
Yeah, but he shoots a good ball. I mean, I know he doesn't take a lot of them, but it looks good coming off of his hand. A really good find by Ziegler, who's back to almost full speed.
In the open floor, 3-on-2. Connect wants to transition 3 and now drives. James off the back rim. And then he tracks down the loose ball, gets on the court to do so. Georgia Southern has started this game 0 for 3 with a couple of turnovers. Aaron Banks gets tied up, and jump ball will keep it this direction.
Yeah, you mentioned Adu. He comes in, made 2 threes on the year, 2 out of 8. But look at this shot now. That's a very natural release for a kid that's 7 feet tall. I mentioned Ziegler getting back to what I think is the Zakai Ziegler that Vol Nation has always loved. His ability now to go full speed and stop and make plays tells me that he has complete trust back in that ACL knee injury.
And tore his ACL February 28th of last year.
That's a walk.
Yeah, should have been. You're probably the same rep that would have called the Chiefs wide receiver offsides on Sunday. Silly details. Curry lost it, and Georgia Southern wanted a timeout and said it's a jump ball, and that will give it back to Tennessee. It must be fun for Carlos Curry. Started at Ole Miss, redshirted a year there, then played a year to get back onto an SEC court.
Well, he had 26 starts last year, did Curry. And you're going to see 10 or 11 guys play for Georgia Southern, and Rick Barnes might go that deep as well. But they're just still trying to figure out who's our go-to guy. Where do we really need to score from? They want to shoot threes and shoot layups, but against Tennessee, you better take what you can get.
Adu had it rattle out. Now looking for an assist. Vescovi for 3. Connect with the rebound. Ziegler in the paint, a little push shot. That's an area he has struggled this year, Jimmy. Just 2 for 11 on close twos. When he joined this league and had such a fantastic first year with Tennessee, even at 5'9", he was really finishing. Here's Adu with the steal. Gonna take it himself. Big starting at double figures.
What an active first 4 minutes for Jonas Adu.
Have you ever seen this? He scored all 10 for Tennessee early on.
And you know what? Jonas has never seen this either.
No. In 17 against steal. Gonna take it himself. Big fella's already got double figures.
What an active first 4 minutes for Jonas Adu.
Have you ever seen this? He scored all 10 for Tennessee early on.
And you know what? Jonas has never seen this either.
No. In 17 against George Mason earlier this season, Bryant put Up an air ball.
And what you got to make is you force Tennessee to come off that.
In 17 against George Mason earlier this season, Bryant puts up an air ball. In 17 against George Mason earlier this season, Bryant puts up an air ball.
And what you got to make is you force Tennessee to come.
In 17 against George Mason earlier this season, Bryant puts up an air ball.
And what you got to make is you.
In 17 against George Mason earlier this season, Bryant puts up an air ball.
And what you got to make is you force Tennessee to.
Extra. I'll just have water. Okay, cash or card. For water?
Well, at AT&T, when we offer you our best iPhone deals,
We guarantee it. Even on the new iPhone 15 Pro.
check it out, made with titanium.
We do have free movies. With the purchase of headphones.
I'll just use my iPhone.
Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on any iPhone with any popular plan. Guaranteed. Get iPhone 15 Pro on us.
Let's get to know some impact transfers in the SEC this year.
Yeah, this is a really good one. Let's start with Caleb Battle at Arkansas. Comes off the bench, but he
into a leading score this year, that Missouri team.
Tennessee has worked really hard the last couple of weeks on just what they hold attention right now on what his team does on that defense out of bounds under.
Rick Polinsky coaching him up in the huddle. He was the head coach at Georgia Southern from 95 to 99, now on Rick Barnes' staff. And a great impact defensively, as we pointed out, Tennessee is known for. Georgia Southern has had 8 possessions to start this game. They have turned it over 4 times. Got it in the paint, and they get a foul. Mashak commits his first.
Tennessee, 19 personal fouls per game is a little bit concerning. And I know they play a physical brand. I love how they play, but you go back and look at some of their games they had against Purdue and the number of times they put the Boilermakers on that free throw line. And continuing to get better at defending your rear ends off without fouling. A growth area for Tennessee going forward.
A correction, that foul was on Santiago Vescovi a moment ago. Curry goes 2 for 2 from the line for the first points of the night for Georgia Southern. Jordan Gainey on the floor for Tennessee, along with Mashak, Toby Owaka. Vescovi shares it to James. Like he just couldn't get a clean handle on it. Here's Gainey. Ball fake. Nice pass. Another offensive rebound. And Owaka's got a bucket. That's the first non-Adu bucket of the night.
How about that? It was really good defensive sequence by Georgia Southern, but you've got to finish it off with that defensive board.
Franklin throws in a three. That's Jamar Franklin, who's shooting 39% from deep. He's a transfer from South Alabama.
Tom, you can't come off if you're Tennessee. You can't come off shooters on the perimeter. You know what they want to do. The numbers back it up. Watch out.
A little sloppy on the offensive end for Tennessee. Georgia Southern has scored on consecutive possessions. It's been empty on their first 8 tries. James with the rebound. And the two veterans playing a good two-man game. The assist to Vescovy on the 3 from James.
That's really tough action. I call it an airplane action in the conversion offense. They run that big right to the middle of the rim and 2 shooters in the far corners. And the trail guy is the tail of the airplane. And that time it was Josiah Jordan James with a clean look.
It's back where I usually sit.
Yeah, you are back there by the blue water quite often.
First to board, last to leave. Good hands and a rip by Gainey. Chance for Tennessee in transition, and he got tied up and will go to the line. Foul on Manny Harris Jr.
We've talked about how Connect has changed his team offensively. Gainey has the same firepower about him, and he's a career 40% guy before he transferred in. Has not shot the ball at that clip, but you talk to coaches that play against Tennessee like Brad Underwood at Illinois. And this guy is high on the scouting report, knowing that he is instant offense when 2 in white checks in.
Transferred in from USC Upstate. Was first team Big South Conference last year. Former freshman of the year in the league. And his dad, Justin, I can't believe Justin's old enough to have a junior in college.
Yeah, he doesn't look like it, does he? Justin's a heck of a player as well. But for his career, Gainey is 42%, Tom, on catch and shoot threes. So when he finds that rhythm, there's his dad. When he finds that rhythm, he's capable of having some 18, 20-point games in SEC play this year.
Dustin with the ball in his hands. Both coaches getting deep into their benches. And a near walk for Georgia Southern. Here's Moore for 3. And the loose ball belongs to the Eagles. No surprise that Charlie Henry would go deep into his bench. 7th in Division I, getting 45% of their minutes from reserves on the season. 3 balls short. And a challenge, 2, comes out Tennessee's way. Georgia Southern 1 for 10 to start this game from the floor. Connect hasn't gotten one to go yet tonight. Some early run for Kate Phillips as well, doing his best John Fulkerson impersonation out there. And the loose ball will give it right back to Tennessee. Another turnover, 6th of the night for Georgia Southern.
Well, I like your description of 12 and white for Tennessee, because I think that this kid, Kate Phillips, has a lot of toughness about him. He's got that competitive fight that Rick Barnes, I think, is going to trust with minutes going forward.
Do you think Phillips will be here for 12 years like Fulkerson was?
Probably not. I don't know what Fulke's doing now. Tell me on Twitter where Fulke is. You wish watch Tennessee, Tom. Don't watch the ball as much tonight. Just watch the off-ball movement, how hard they cut, how they finish their cuts and stick their head all the way under the rim. The off-ball screening action. They're one of the better teams in college ball with what they are doing away from the basketball on the offensive end.
And that's what makes them so hard to defend?
I think it is. Not a lot of teams do that off-ball screening action like Tennessee, as Adu says. I've made one. Why not another?
He has still outscored Georgia Southern, even though he's been on the bench the last 3 minutes. Adu's got a dozen. Georgia Southern has 5. See, Franklin was impacted with Adu's presence in the paint. Moore whistled for the offensive foul, his first. Welcome to the Jonas Adu Show tonight.
Jonas Adu has been very active, hard cutting, knocking down three. I mean, he's a legit 7-footer that gives Rick Barnes a real anchor on that inside.
Whoa, the new iPhone 15. With that amazing camera, I wish my family had them.
Zoe, you're an action star. Take action. Join T-Mobile and get 4 new iPhone 15s on them and 4 lines for $25 a line.
With that camera, I'll be sharing pics from the slopes.
You do not want to see yourself skiing.
Yeah, I'm good at skiing. Your stunt woman is.
This holiday at T-Mobile, get 4 new iPhone 15s on us and 4 lines of unlimited for $25 a line.
What do you think of the jacket? You look like a marshmallow.
There's a reason why it's called a possession. It's not just who has the ball, but the opportunity. From Lexington to Nashville to Columbia, possession means this moment has your name on it. All you have to do is take it. So be ready and don't miss your shot. Pfizer and the SEC are teaming up to remind fans that updated COVID-19 shots are available. Learn more and find a vaccine option at schedulecovidvax.com.
On a Cursed, Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
See ya.
Caleb Williams, you gotta get out of here. Fansville is cursed.
No, Fansville's not cursed.
I swear on Dr. Pepper, it's real.
I'm not superstitious. I'm number 13.
13? No.
And I'm on the cover of this magazine and this video game.
The covers, no!
Literally walking under 3 ladders as we speak.
Ladder Emporium, no!
I even have a black cat.
Get out while you can!
That was weird.
Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
All right, Jimmy, tell me who you're not surprised by.
Well, I'm not surprised by Ole Miss and how they've come out of the gate at 9-0 because Chris Beard can coach with anybody in college basketball. They've got a ruggedness and a toughness about them. And size at the rim with Sharp at 7'5", Musa Cisse at 7 foot. And this is a team that's going to be hard to handle. It's interesting to me, Tom, they're the only unbeaten in college basketball, still not ranked in the top 25. So I think people are missing right now on this Ole Miss Rebel squad. But they are led by Alan Flanagan. Matthew Morrell has bought in. I think Ole Miss is really, really good. And Chris Beard expects to win year one. That's what he expected when he was at Little Rock. That's how his expectations were at Texas Tech and Texas. He has sent that message to Ole Miss from the day he got hired. We're going to win now. And they have backed it up with a lot of close wins. Still doesn't matter. 9-0 is 9-0. And they're a real factor in this league this year.
Well, bookkeeping note, that last foul on Tyron Moore was upgraded to a flagrant foul for a shot to the head. Lee Cassell just informing us. Watch that right there. That put Meshack down. They reviewed it. And so we got a flagrant 1 on Tyron Moore.
I saw Meshack get hit, and you drive the ball, and you use that non-ball handling hand to clear out space and make head contact. The easy, proper call to make. And I got my answer on Polke, by the way.
Yeah.
He's in his second season with the Leuven Bears in Belgium. And he's teammates this year with VFL's Tyreek Key and Victor Bailey Jr.
Yeah. And Jalen Tate, who played at Arkansas, is
He's
also
there with
on that
them.
team.
That's got to be a good team.
So, you know what? They're probably watching tonight.
The Leuven Bears?
Yeah, the whole Leuven Bears. I'm sure they're dialed in at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Is that what it is in Belgium?
Give or take. Meshack knocks them both down. Tennessee will have possession. Tennessee on a 9-0 run in a game they led 10-0. Thanks in large part to all the points coming from Jonas Adu early. Adu getting a touch. He's got a freshman Parker guarding him at 6'9", 210. Nice slip. And a rebound fought for and corralled by Nate Bradford. Here's Banks from Eatonton, Georgia to Putnam County.
Yeah, good offense. Really good job by Banks to dribble harder, to dribble handoff, not get called for the moving screen to free up the jump shot.
Adu looking at another high percentage look, and Moore committed his second.
He's just too much, is Adu, for this level of competition. Mentioned his numbers earlier. He's averaging 15 points a game, shooting 60% in his last 3 ball games. And 2 of those teams, North Carolina and Illinois, are pretty good, by the way. So this guy's really growing in his confidence. He went right at Armando Bacot at North Carolina in that second half. Rick Barnes called his number 4 or 5 possessions in a row and he delivered. He and Connect got him back in that thing, but we learned this about Rick Barnes today. He does not like cold soup. Right? He does not like cold soup.
You just caught me off guard because I thought you were sticking with the basketball theme. But here's one other thing we learned about him. He had never had a chicken taco until
last week.
Yeah, last week.
He never had a chicken taco.
You said, I just thought tacos all should have beef in them.
I'm not a huge fan of cold soup either, but at least I know when it's served to me, you don't ask the waiter to go back and heat it up. That's apparently what he did with the younger Rick Barnes.
Well, what temperature does your gazpacho served at? Dial it up. Avante Parker picks up his second.
He is the best.
Very nice of him to take us on a tour of Knoxville today. See the whole town. So Zakai Ziegler back from the torn ACL. Visited with him before shoot-around today. He really made it seem like he's getting more and more confident in what he's able to do physically. And Jimmy, my question, and this is a turnover to 2-on-1. Carr hustling his way back for the block. Wow! And another one from James. Carr was like a lion chasing him down, and now Harris's three is off. Talk about making an impact, Cameron Carr defensively. What an effort.
Well, this is a kid, 43 in white for Tennessee, that's already on the NBA radar screen. And that type of athleticism, length, and explosiveness and quickness is why you're going to get some looks.
And out for 3.
That's just a long, what are they listing, 6'4", Carr?
I got him 6'5", but whatever you want.
All of it.
I was going to talk about Ziegler, then Carr just stole the show. Here's a guy that doesn't give up.
Well, their pursuit of the basketball is always in place, but this recovery length and recovery speed and explosiveness by 43 in white, that's some special stuff. And certainly Tennessee wants to win the game tonight, but they also want to win the opportunity. What the opportunity is, get some of these guys that haven't gotten a lot of minutes on the floor in live action. Carr, one of those guys.
That ball was
Good action.
the baseline out of bounds, a 3 for Gainey.
Now, that's such good action because you've got Adu rolling to the
already rolling.
When you live in SEC country, you see it, hear it, and feel it everywhere you go. The traditions and rivalries surround you. And there's no such thing as too much. As much as you celebrate the game,
Regions celebrates your financial wins even more and helps you plan for the next one. Because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank.
Welcome to Regions. How can I help you?
Was not your fault. Listen up. We have live agents available right now to answer your questions and tell you how much your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina Bellich here with spokesman and TV personality Tom Mustin with us in the Help Center. So, Tom, phones are really busy over there. Tell us what kind of calls you're seeing.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me here in the call center with you. We always enjoy talking to the viewers and getting folks the compensation that they deserve. You know, we're seeing calls about all kinds of accidents, but the most common by far has been car accidents. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, give us a call right now. You'll speak with a live person. They'll answer any questions you have and tell you if you have a case and how much your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Tom. All right, folks at home, you heard it. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now.
Men's basketball doubleheader coming your way Saturday, 5:30 Eastern. Starts with Mike White's Georgia team taking on High Point. And 9-0 Ole Miss plays host to Cal in San Antonio right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Are the Hall of Fame series beginning at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. One thing I don't understand is why Ayers Hall gets all the love when South College, everybody knows, is the oldest building on campus.
Beautiful campus is Rocky Top Nation. And they are set to have a magnificent winter this year watching this Tennessee team. And the depth of Tennessee is there. Now, Rick Barnes only went 8 deep against Illinois with his starters and Gainey, Awaka, and Meshack off the bench. But he's got 9 or 10 guys, and I think he'll have ready for SEC play, which you're going to have. It looks to me, I'll ask you, but it looks to me like Tennessee is the most complete team right now. As we're maybe 2 or 3 weeks away from SEC play beginning. Kentucky has looked great at times. I just think this team has been battle-tested tough and have held up well.
I agree with you. I think the one counter to that is Kentucky is getting healthier. They've already added 1 7-footer. They will add another shortly, maybe in their next game.
And how will they look? Now, will John Calipari go back to playing some minutes of big ball with 2 of them on the floor at the same time? Just a lot of pieces, though, that Cal has to work with.
You like what Reed Shepherd's shown you so far?
I love his game. We knew he could shoot the ball for sure, but probably the most complete guy that Cal has had so far this season. Dillingham's been really good, explosive, but Reed Shepherd knows the value of putting on that Kentucky jersey for sure.
Speaking of Shepherd, he leads the league in steals, better than 2 steals a game. And I asked him earlier this season, here's Dean off balance, tough shot, where that drive came from defensively. And he said, I played for my dad. And my dad told me, if you're going to do something, you might as well do it to the best of your ability. So he's always taken pride in his defense. I think this is going to be a really good athletic defensive league again this year.
No, there's no doubt. And Reed Shepherd is good pocket pass. Reed Shepherd is such a high IQ kid. He's a lot more athletic than you think. I believe in their NBA testing, Reed Shepherd had the fastest shuttle run, right?
Yeah, shuttle time, yeah. Better lateral quickness than anybody on the team. I was talking with Lee Cassell when you were talking about Ole Miss and the job Chris Beard has done immediately. Speaking of adding bigs, what makes Ole Miss so tough here early on?
Well, defensively, they know who they are. And that's no surprise. Almost a shot clock violation.